Hi, my name is Lori Drennan and I'm the Product Readiness Manager for Quatris Health. We're trying something a little bit different with this installment of 5 Meaningful Minutes coming at you live from the internet. I hope you find it beneficial. There's a few different areas that I want to visit with you about today. Specifically, we want to talk about the Hardship Exemption Application Extension, easy for me to say, the flexibility rule, a little bit about CQMs, and then about registering for CQR. You didn't think I was going to forget about that one, did you? So let's start out with the hardship application. Originally, if this was your first year to attest, you needed to have a hardship application submitted to CMS by the end of July. And then if you were in your first year of attestation, the requirement was that you attested by October 1st in order to avoid the Medicare payment adjustment in 2015. If you were unable to make that date, you were subject to the Medicare payment adjustment in 2015. Recently, right after October 1st, Medicare came up with the extension to that hardship application, and they've extended that deadline through 11:59 p.m. on November 30th. So in the email that accompanied the link to this training, I have given you a link excuse me, to the CMS website where you can access that application and fill out that information to apply for the hardship application. That doesn't mean that you'll be accepted, so you should continue down the path of attestation. If you are a Stage 1 Year 1 customer, you can still receive the incentive monies as long as you attest by the end of February, and that will mean that you're not subject to further Medicare payment adjustments. The CMS website does have additional information about that if you're interested in further details. But that is another opportunity to file for that, and we do encourage all of those customers that fall under that umbrella to take advantage of that opportunity. The next thing I want to talk with you about is the Meaningful Use 2014 Flexibility Rule. And that flexibility rule is confusing at best, but I kind of want to strip away all the CMS speak and just talk with you about it as if I were having a conversation with you on the phone. Let's talk about what the flexibility rule really means and who it applies to. It applies to anybody. It doesn't matter if you're a Stage 1 Year 1 customer, Stage 1 Year 2, or Stage 2 Year 1. The flexibility rule is for everyone. And essentially, one thing that it would allow you to do is either attest under the 2013 Stage 1 criteria or the 2014 Stage 1 criteria. It says nobody has to do Stage 2 in 2014 if they don't want to. The second thing that it does is it gives that flexibility depending on where you are in terms of your use of the 2014 certified technology. So, a couple things to think about if the flexibility rule is right for you. The first question that I would ask is, if you have attested for meaningful use previously, which 90% of our customer base has, did you continue to use the meaningful use workflows that you attested for last year at the beginning of 2014? And chances are fairly good that most of you did. So that would be the first question I would ask. The second question I would ask is, do you feel as though you have fully implemented 2014 technology and workflows? And in terms of 2014 technology, that would mean CPS 12 or EMR 98. That would mean CQR, and that would mean your patient portal. And if the answer to that question is no or kind of, then the flexibility rule is applicable to you. What do you do with that information now that you've answered those two questions? About a month ago, GE released a new version of their Crystal reports. This version of their Crystal reports is specific to the 2013 Stage 1 criteria, but what that can do for our customers that were able to answer those two questions that I just asked was, if you were using the 2013 Stage 1 criteria at the beginning of 2014, loading those reports onto your system would allow you to run those reports for Q1 of 2014, and if you met your numbers, that's the data with which you can attest. On October 15th of this year, just a couple days ago, CMS opened up the attestation under the flexibility rule. And when it comes time to attest, you will attest to whether or not you're using 2011 certified technology, a combination of 2011 and 14 technology, or 2014 technology. And that's the flexibility part. So if you think that you fit under those criteria, the first thing I would encourage you to do is contact Quatris support. The easiest way to do that is to email us, support@quatris.com, and ask to have us load those crystal reports. Loading those reports is going to allow you to run those reports for a quarter in 2014, before you went to the 2014 certified technology, and look at those numbers and see if you met them. If you did, you log on to the CMS website, you attest, you're done for 2014. If that sounds like an appealing option, I would start that process now. Now that's not to say you're completely off the hook with CQR. I have been pleading with you all to register for CQR, and I'm going to continue to do that because you haven't all done that yet. So there's an attachment on your email that asks you to register for CQR. We need to really have you do that now. There's going to be a big push of customers, both ours and GE's, that are trying to do that at the last minute of the year. We need to get you registered and get things started on CQR because that is the solution for 2015. So if you haven't had the opportunity to do that yet, make the phone call to GE, start the webinar with them so that we can get the wheels in motion there. We really need to have you do that sooner rather than later. Appreciate it. And the last thing that I want to visit with you about today is CQMs. And specifically, I want to talk about CQMs and CQR in the 2014 technology. So if you think the flexibility rule is going to work for you and that's the direction you want to go, just cover your ears for this part because it might just confuse you. But in CPS 12, the version that's out today, there are 22 certified CQMs. There's an attachment on your email that talks about those 22 certified CQMs. CQMs require ONC certification, and those are the ones that are certified right now. The confusing part that is happening right now is that CQR contains some CQMs that are not yet ONC certified. Why, you ask? The reason is because GE is working on certifying some additional CQMs for their Service Pack 7 release. So more are coming in the product in CPS and EMR, they're just not there yet. So CQR has them, they're just not certified in CPS and CEMR yet. If you go into CQR, initially when you got it installed, they were there, but they weren't checked, so they weren't displaying on your dashboard. If you went in and you checked them, they are displaying on your dashboard, and the results are being returned, but there is nothing that's showing in the numerator. That's confusing. You're wondering why nothing's showing in your numerator, and you're thinking that something's wrong with those measures. There's nothing wrong with the measures other than they're not certified, so data isn't flowing from the product yet. Once Service Pack 7 comes out and we have workflows and we have documentation on how the numerator and the denominator are being calculated, then we will have that information. But right now, it's not certified, so there's no data. How are you supposed to know that? There is an excellent resource on the GE Service Portal. It's called the CPS Meaningful Use 2014 User Guide. It is the reference point for all things CQM. You will need an SSO login in order to access it. It is well worth the time that it takes to go to the GE Service Portal and get that. It will let you know all information about CQMs, the ones that are certified now, the ones that will be certified in the future, how the calculations are done, how the data mapping's done, the value sets for them. That is a reference document that you will need and you will want to use. It truly is an invaluable document. So Quatris is not recreating that document. GE has done the heavy lifting on that one, and we're going to use that document moving forward. So that's what I have for you today in my 5 meaningful minutes. Couldn't keep it to 5 minutes. Those of you who know me know I'm a wordy girl. So I do appreciate you taking the time to watch. If you like this format or the information that's in our 5 meaningful minutes, if you have any feedback for us on things you'd like to see in future installments, please let us know. That would be great information. Again, my name is Lori Drennan. I'm your Product Readiness Manager for Quatris, and thanks so much. Until our next installment, we'll see you later. Good luck.